3, 2, 1. A couple of weeks ago, I had a last-minute chance to take a special early look at the VFC M3 MAAWS, aka the Carl Gustaf AIRSOFT rocket launcher, which is coming out soon here. I was contacted last minute and told that I could get a couple shots and get some footage, but I didn't have much time to test or any time to reshoot. So kind of the footage here I have is what I have, but I think I did an okay job at showing off what is on offer for this. So take a look and tell me what you think. So I'm here with a chance to take an early look at the VFC Carl Gustaf here. Sorry, maybe a little bit dark down here, but you can see here, which is probably, insofar as I'm aware of, is the first kind of mass-produced rocket launcher, as you can see here, and it's a pretty large and impressive piece. This is mostly nylon. Over here and stuff where appropriate, they have aluminum and steel, but the body itself is a large piece of nylon plastic, essentially. So it's a little bit lighter than you might think, and probably considerably lighter than the real thing. What it comes with is, of course, the launcher, and then it comes with this, which is essentially a dummy shell. And along with the dummy shell, you have, of course, the base to the shell, and you have a smaller gas canister. I wanted to pause here real briefly because I happen to have an early copy, or an early sample, if you will, of the VFC Grenade, which will come with the Carl Gustaf in hand here. This came with that guy over there, this grenade launcher here, which is the DNA T85 grenade launcher, which I put in my DNA T65. Don't ask how much those cost. But it happened to come with this, which is the grenade launcher, as you can see. And in the video later on, you're going to see me shooting these little black plastic caps. They're really small and flimsy, and they are not particularly accurate. They're just kind of for messing around, I think. What I'm really looking forward to is the shower shell for these, which, let me put up a picture, if you will, what we have with the shower shell. We don't have much information on it yet beyond what we see in the VFC manual, which is out by now for the Carl Gustaf. But I want to take a look at the grenade here real quick. So it's set up like this. I'm not sure what material this is, but it seems fairly soft. I've already kind of dropped it a bunch, and it has dented a bunch of things. And basically how it works is you fill it with gas from here, at the top here, and then when it fires, of course, you press this, and this actually goes down when it fires, and then the gas comes shooting out of here. It's fairly interesting. You do have to be careful with it. I actually already kind of like messed up my ears a bit. I was filling it like this. I grasped this cap like this off and filled it like that, and then the cap pressed here enough to shoot it off. I had to point it basically at my face, and that made my ears really ring, let me tell you. As you can see here, it has a little O-ring here, presumably to keep this guy on firmly. It also has some threading up here. This is probably where the shower shell is going to screw into, I would imagine. While we're at it, let's just do a little demonstration here. Let me add some gas. Boom. And then, really got to be careful with this, but let me fire it off, and hopefully my ears won't ring too much from it. Oh yeah. That is quite loud, and that was just a moment of gas, but it feels really surprisingly powerful. Now this is the short one that comes with the launcher. The big one, the Titan, which I'm going to, in the video there, I will be explaining in a second, of course, carries way more gas and is even more powerful. So really pretty impressive. I'm interested to see how much adoption these will have from people. I think in the US and stuff, there's existing grenades like this, and we'll see how well these sell in various markets. But it'll be an interesting option. It'll be nice to have something from VFC for their launchers that are coming out. Because they also have, for example, the XM148, I believe, launcher, which is coming out, which presumably will use these with the shower shells and such. So it looks like this will be a platform they'll be expanding on. I'm interested to see what they do with it. Okay, back to the video. You can also additionally buy a separate canister with a little bit of a separate setup, which you see here. This one is more of a dummy canister, and I'll show you in a second. You actually take the cap off, and it will fit any 40mm grenade. This one also fits 40mm grenades, but also it has a place for a cap, which you can put a kind of, how do you call it, a disintegrating ball or a two-piece kind of rubber ball inside, which you can fill full of BBs, and it will shoot out a spray of BBs, along with a much larger gas canister. And this is aftermarket, so you have to buy this separately. Let me show you first here what the original one comes. So the original comes with this gas canister, which goes in the bottom like this, and you hold it on with this cap here. With the cap, you have to, there's two sides here. There's a larger part and a smaller part, and you need to line those up. So it can't go either way. It has to go one way or the other, and you lock it in place. And of course, hopefully you can see this here. And of course, you grab this and open it. And open it like this. And then put it home. When you put it home, you actually have to line up this notch here. Hopefully you can see the little notch there. You have to line it up with the bottom like so, and it goes, then you lock it home. Of course, this is in its dummy mode here. If you actually want to fire it, you need to go and, this clicks like the timing adjustment of a real shell there, but that's just for show. If you want to fire something out of it, you have to take it all off. And it comes like this. And then this essentially, you saw the small one I inserted earlier, it just shoots BBs out this longer tube here, which is a 40 millimeter. As you can see here, there's a big hole through all of it. So it should be able to fit any sort of 40 millimeter grenade you have. So I know a lot of people in the US, we don't have them here in Asia so much, but like tag-in grenades and such should theoretically fit because I believe tag-ins kind of have a 40 millimeter sleeve and go inside there. So similarly, as I noted, the aftermarket one is of similar shape, of course, without the kind of fake warhead there, if you will. And it has this little circular thing here, which you can use to put one of these guys here, which is a two-part little shell, which you can fill with BBs or theoretically with whatever you want, I suppose. But hopefully nothing that will hurt people, of course. And put it in, and you need to put it in like so, and it sits home. And then you want to put the seam so it's outward, so when it fires, it breaks apart. And of course, once you have that, take off the bottom as before, and then you can take the larger gas canister, put that home just as before. Boom. I had that misaligned, I think. Nope, that was right. And then twist it in, and of course, put it in the launcher, again, lining up side here. Lining up this little notch here with the bottom and putting it home. And then slam it home. You need to slam it home and then lock this in because it's not quite spring-loaded that much. So now I'm going to try firing with, this is the aftermarket shell. Hold on, let me put this down for a second. You can see how this is relatively light from the way I hold it there, but it's very long and awkward. We use the aftermarket shell here, which, as noted, has the little ball with the BBs, which you can, well, presumably BBs, you can put other stuff you want to perhaps, but it's intended, of course, for BBs with this aftermarket shell, which also has the very long and large gas canister in it. So to load it, and I can do this myself essentially, I'm going to do it by holding it like this here. And you need to line up, as mentioned, this little notch with, and we'll see if this falls out or not. Seems to be okay. Line up the little notch with the thing there, and it seems so far that hold on, it's got to go all the way in here. There you go. And it's all the way in, and it looks like the ball has not fallen out. I was afraid holding it down it might fall out. Seems to be okay. Then you bring it home, push this thing to lock, and then there's a safety here to make sure that's off, and then you fire here. Okay. Oh. With the long gas canister, which again is aftermarket, it only comes out of the box, just the thing itself, it comes with the smaller one. The long one is really quite powerful, as you saw there. We didn't even like give it a lot of gas power. We just gave it a pretty quick fill there. It can definitely hold a lot and is quite strong. Very, very good. So next I'm going to fire with these little black caps. And when you buy it, it comes, I'm going to use it with the stronger one just for demonstration purposes. Of course, again, to emphasize, it comes with the shorter one out of the box and you have to buy this separately, but it will definitely be probably worth it to get because it's very powerful and very cool. Along with in the box, you can buy these separately as well, but in the box as well, you get this little cap here, which is kind of a black cap, which goes on here, like so, right? And then you can fire it out. And this is about 40 millimeters. So this I'm actually using, this is the shell that comes with the Gustaf, and then one of these, and I believe 10 of these little caps come with the Gustaf as well, which you can also put in the short one. And I'm going to use this one and take off the kind of dummy head there and put, of course, this guy in. This will also work with the short one as well, but it's going to be like going further through the little barrel inside the shell, if you will. So put that guy in. As mentioned before, you lock in the bottom. And then shove it in. In order to go home, it has to go along the track there. And then shove that guy home. And let's give it a shot. Maybe a little dark to see the black shell going, but we'll see how it looks. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Now, as you saw, that was a ton of gas there, right? It shows you how much is in that shell. And that's actually, my ears are ringing a little bit. You probably is not completely hearing safe. It's not as bad as some things, like the FAL or some steel bolt guns actually make my ears ring more, but you probably want to have something in your ears for that. And of course, once you're done with it, you pop this open and then pop that open. You can do it by yourself. Of course, this is kind of set up for a two-man crew of sorts. And then there's holes in the bottom of the locking cap, like there. Myself, I didn't see where the black cap was there because there was so much smoke going out, but hopefully on the video you might be able to see where it went. So these black caps, this is the one I just fired earlier, these are reusable as long as you can find them. As you saw, like, it shoots with so much smoke. Actually, as the fire, it's hard to see where it goes, but as long as you can find them again, you are able to reuse these. They're rubber. They're quite light, shouldn't cause injuries, though certainly we'll see what happens, or we'll see if people use really strong gas that like. This down here, for example, this is the cap we shot earlier with all the BBs inside. This, of course, you can't reuse. It's a bit too thin and is liable to break from firing, but a good way to dispose of all your floor BBs. Okay, so finally, actually, we're going to go and shoot. This is the stuff that dummy shell that comes with it, not the aftermarket one that's bigger. So the first two shots we did were with the much larger gas reservoir with the bigger one. Now we're going to try the smaller one that comes with it, which is perfectly operational. This also, of course, shows you a lot of the 40mm grenades, the other companies in the aftermarket, which you should all be able to use, are going to be about this size. And it just shows you here, which you can see down there, I think. You can see how it's set up. It's actually a little bit of faux rifling as well. I don't know if that'll be of any use. I'm not sure if that'll be of any use to this or not. This actually might, let's see here. This might well engage with the rifling a little bit, I think, because it actually got a little bit of extra space here. So I think that this may actually be fairly accurate. It seems like there might actually be rifling on it. We'll have to test and see exactly how accurate it can be and whether or not it fully engages with the rifling. But with the stuff that comes with the Carl Gustaf there, you put this on. Of course, it looks like a nice little proper 40mm grenade, if you will. Put it in, as with the others. Same thing as with the other one, it's just shorter. Make sure I have this in right here. Other way around. Lock it in. And send it home. Lock this in, and we're going to give this a shot. This is the one that comes with the launcher, and it is going to be a little bit weaker than the other one. We'll see how much. All right. There you go. Now this one, there's much less excess gas, so I could see that. I could see it went and curved to the right a bit. So there may be some variations. Certainly, I don't know how well it engaged with the rifling. It definitely isn't super accurate, but it's very cool nonetheless. Okay, so this has been a little simple presentation, a little early look. I'm going to be getting one of these at least, maybe some more. And I'm sure you're actually going to see a lot of these in the field. This is one of the things that's kind of been missing for a lot of the milsim events. So if you thought you already had enough to carry in all your milsim events, get ready because you might be seeing one of these in every squad or the like. Once I get a full one and can do more than just this early preview, I'll probably have a full review on this, as long as it's worth doing, I think. And I'm sure other people will be putting up information on this. But for the time being, it looks very cool, and it's actually fairly reasonably priced. We'll see what the overseas price is. Here in Asia, I want to say it's around $450, $500 for this. And of course, you have all sorts of different extras coming. So look forward to this. It's actually super cool. I was wondering how nice it would be, but especially with the big gas reservoir, it is super fun to shoot. So be looking out for this coming out. I think the Asia release is mid to late November, and then elsewhere you're going to see it whenever it gets off the boat. All right, thank you.